Hello everyone, time for the weekly update. This week I think I'm actually going to start with my harvest so that I actually get things in order. Got a whole bunch of peppers here this week, including a couple habaneros. Those are my first of the year. Then a bunch of these. I think those are the Jamaican Red Hot, and got a bunch more out there. Did get a couple more ghost peppers. And some moles and anchos there. And a whole bunch of cherry tomatoes and probably that many more out there. What we got over here? 4 more ghost peppers. These I think are the Scotch bonnets. Some jalapenos, zucchini, and a whole boatload of beefsteak tomatoes. They are all ripening at the same time, and I think mainly because they are determinate. Okay. And just an update on all the pumpkins. Got all these pumpkins here. Volunteer, ones I planted, ones I didn't know I planted. Got butternut there. I got a lot of butternut I need to get out there. So, okay, let me take you outside and show you what I got. Okay, let's see what we got going on out here. I think this week, instead of just taking you through and showing you everything, I'm going to try to explain why I did what I did. Some things I didn't do, like the raspberry plants and some of the tomato plants, which are volunteer that just decide to come up wherever they want to. Okay, first one, eggplant, and the reason I'm growing it in the pot is because I started way too late and I want to overwinter this guy. So get it nice and strong. Hopefully I can bring it inside over winter and begin next year with a nice healthy eggplant, because every year I have trouble germinating them. Okay, so this Swiss chard, basically it's not a fruit bearing plant, you just eat the leaves, so I figured that'd be easy to grow into in a pot. And the same with the basil. Basil I also have a hard time germinating in the garden sometimes, so that's why I did it in there. Look at that green guy. I don't even know if you can see him. Well camouflaged in there. Okay, these jalapenos and lemon tree. So the lemon tree is in the pot mainly because it has to be brought indoors every winter. So I need a pot this size to be able to give it the dirt that it needs, but also put it in a pot so I can bring it inside. As for these 2 jalapeno plants, they are in there because the lemon tree died and I had an excess of jalapeno plants. So I just threw them in there, and then the lemon tree decided to come back to life. So that's why they are in there. I already went over the Swiss chard. Okay, the pumpkin plants over here. Now, a big factor deciding where to grow something is whether or not the wildlife will eat it. Pumpkin plants are not something the wildlife around here eats. Also, the bell pepper plants are not something that the wildlife would eat. And as for this pumpkin plant, it was a volunteer, so that's why it's there. Also, this area does not get a lot of sun. Pumpkins is not something that I overly care about, especially these little guys. They're just for decoration, so I don't need a lot of them. So they get to grow over here out of the sun and the poor dirt, because whatever I get. Not too worried about it. Do have a nasty storm moving in, so hopefully I can get through this before it comes. Okay. 2 jalapeno plants. They're there basically because I had extras and I had room in the garden for it. Okay. Zucchini plant. Zucchini's in the main garden because we do eat a lot of zucchini and no pests bother it except for the bugs. That's why I can grow it outside of the netting. Don't really have anything on there right now. And this is the backup one that actually does have one on there, and based off the size of the plant, that one might already be close to being done. Hey, got some bell pepper plants here. Had extra. Animals don't bother them, so had nothing growing here except for the pumpkin, so just threw these in there. Hey, the green beans that are growing on the outside of this fence does get eaten by the animals, so I added some fencing around it, but I also planted it here so that it could climb up my bird netting. However, I still just have I got a stink bug, but no beans. So I just have no idea why. Okay, pumpkin plants. Did not plant them here. Decided to leave them go because that's poor dirt there, which you could never tell by the massive size of these pumpkin vines or the size of the pumpkins. So this worked out really well growing them there. And these yellow ones just keep coming. Got one there, got one there. This is still real healthy right here. Got one there. Couple down there. Got one here. I think I had one up here turning colors. So that's why they're growing there. These 2 pepper plants, again, don't get bothered by the wildlife. And this ghost pepper is very productive. Gonna have way more than I need. Same with the ancho. Barely keeping up with it because I don't know, just don't have time for cooking and prepping and everything else. I guess I do this mainly for the fun of growing everything. Cucamelons. I grew these last year just to climb up this arbor. Nothing bothers them, so they can be on the outside of the netting. And this year, they just came back up on their own. So that's why they're here this year. And I'll let them grow there again next year. Butternut squash. This was my hardest decision here because they're in with my beefsteak tomatoes, which are my favorite. And these don't need to be planted in the bird netting. So if I had my choice, they would not have been planted here, but they came up on their own. So they decided to grow there themselves. And I did grow peas inside this bird netting for 2 reasons: to climb up the bird netting and to stay away from the wildlife because they do enjoy the peas thoroughly. Okay, this cherry tomato decided itself to grow there. Okay, and beefsteak tomatoes. And you saw all the ones I picked inside, and just as many, if not more, outside. And these are determinate, so I'm surprised to see any new ones that get put on. Not sure what this brown stuff is, but it does not look good. I don't think that's just age anymore. That could be blight. And this beefsteak, this is the indeterminate one, and you know, as much as I'm glad it grows the entire summer, it probably has grown less than the determinate ones in total. Okay, Swiss chard. Put that inside the netting because the wildlife does enjoy it. and I had extras, so sorry about that. We stepped on this guy, knocked it down, but it's almost over with anyway. Down here, our little critter is getting in here. Got that one. I have seen little rabbits around here, so that's one of the possibilities, but that almost looks like it could be a little rodent also. Hey, the cherry tomatoes. Again, away from the wildlife. Okay, bok choy. Bok choy, I do not know if the wildlife would eat it, but based off of that leaf, apparently something made its way in here and enjoys the bok choy, so I need to try to find out where they're getting in at. Also have beets. Same thing, the wildlife does enjoy the beets. So I tried to protect it, but man, they're getting in here, so I gotta protect it. There are some peas. Don't know that you can see them anymore. One there. Same thing. Keep it away from the wildlife. Okay. Habanero. Had extras, had to put them somewhere. Nothing was here, and the dirt's bad. Hot peppers grow pretty much anywhere, so I won't get a lot off of this, but I'll get enough. Kale, again, this is kind of poor dirt, so I figured the kale would do okay. So I built this cage to protect it. It's got bird netting on it from the wildlife. Raspberries, this is my original raspberry planting, and just keeps spreading around here. So it's been easily my best year for raspberries. And so many nice big raspberries, which normally my raspberries don't do good at all. Okay, and here I put carrots. Carrots have to be protected around here. Also, the tomato plants need to be protected, so they're all inside this bird netting. Some bees working out late tonight. Some tomatoes coming on, not a ton. The cucumber plant, I don't know that it's getting enough sun. These don't really need to be protected from the wildlife, but I had room there until these cherry tomatoes took off. A cucamelon I just put over here because it had a bunch of extra. Nothing bothers it and could climb up the netting. Okay, so this whole area, all hot peppers. They are here because nothing bothers them and I don't have to protect them from the bird netting. And starting to get some peppers, some bell peppers. I believe this one's an habanero. Yep. And there. That one looks like it has mold in it. I don't know how, but somehow peppers get mold on the inside. At least mine do. Not really sure why. A ton of these. And this is another bell pepper. Hey, so I got sweet potato, red potato with some kind of bugs. I don't know if you can see those, but man, did they annihilate this potato plant. I don't know if those are potato bugs. I don't think they are. I don't know. Anyway, potatoes are grown here because kind of hard to tell anymore. It's been growing here a long time. This used to be really mounded up. It's just got a lot of loose dirt to grow the potatoes in. It's also why I grew the carrots here. And I already told you why I grew the peppers here, but I'll show you what I got. Got a bunch of anchos here. Bunch of anchos there. And a whole bunch of anchos on this guy. Can't really see, there's so many leaves, but here and there. These guys, I believe, are the Scotch bonnets. So many Scotch bonnets. This is just one of 3 plants. Might need to end this short if the storm keeps coming. This one's a little behind, but starting to get a lot of peppers on it. And this guy's got some red ones in there. Plenty growing. And what do you do with 10,000 hot peppers? This here, which looks like the Jamaican red hop, it grows slightly different. Got more of a point on it, but I don't know. Okay, and my lettuce that grew here because it was a volunteer. I had it covered last year from the wildlife because it will eat it. But then it went to volunteer, went to seed, and then volunteered itself here, so. And more of the Peter peppers. Bell peppers. And this is more of the ghost peppers. A bunch of them in there. Nice and wrinkly and ready to turn red. This is my turnip graveyard that I grew. These grow out here because nothing eats them. Absolutely nothing, which is surprising because they're delicious. Wildlife doesn't like it. Green onions there because I just had the space. I cleaned this up and planted a bunch of radishes because why not? They grow fast. It's an open area and nothing eats them. So, alright, asparagus. That's mainly there because I was a rookie when I put it there, and if I had to do it over again, I'd put it in a better spot that I can take care of a lot better because we'd love to have asparagus. It just doesn't do that well over here, but it comes back every year. So I still can take care of it. Okay, got this mole pepper here just because I had an extra. Okay, so all these raspberries, they are here because they were kind of unsightly over by the patio. So I dug them up and didn't want to kill them, so I don't usually do a lot over here. So anything's really kind of a bonus, and they seem to be doing pretty well. And there's a lot of pepper plants in here just because I had extras and nowhere to go with them, so and some extra habaneros in there. Bell peppers, they're here because I had nowhere else to go with them, so I was able to clean this up. It's getting ready to storm. It's late at night and the bees are still working. And I see these kind here all the time, so I'm wondering if there's a nest around here somewhere. Anyway, the bell peppers are just doing okay. This is something I'd like to grow elsewhere too because we do like our bell peppers. And this isn't the best dirt, but they seem to be doing better than expected. Some plants like this one, they'll have nothing on them. And the other ones at least have a few. And as many plants as I have, as long as each one has a few, I'll be okay. Pretty sure this guy had one, but maybe not. Yeah, so that's a nice plant. Not a single pepper on it, but this guy got 2. So. Okay, and the hot pepper bed. They're here because... hold on, let me check that real quick. Sorry about that, somebody was calling me back there. Anyway, they're out here because, for one, they're kind of attractive and it's the front yard. and also because too the dirt's not the best and hot peppers can grow anywhere. So that's why they're out here. As for the tomato plants that are out here, this is where the birds decided to plant them. These are the purple bumblebee. I'd recommend that to anyone because they're very disease resistant, do really well, and pretty delicious. Here's an ancho Peter pepper that took forever to start putting peppers on, but it is now. The red Peter pepper is the only variety I have, so these will turn red. A lot of my peppers are starting getting these brown spots. I don't know if that's blossom end rot. That's really been kind of disappointing. Let's see this. This is another one that kind of looks like the Jamaican red, but kind of grows a little bit different, more of the point, less like a mushroom. Woolly one, going really well. Really pleased with how the hot peppers did. This, I believe, is the Jamaican red and did very well out here. Yeah, for a front yard garden, did really well. Peter pepper, this is my first one that started getting Peter peppers on it. So, and another tomato plant. Normally I wouldn't grow these out here because the deer love them. I don't know why they let them go this year. And then the habaneros, a whole bunch of them turning orange under there. Like I said, who's got time to take care of them now? And you can tell, I mean, look at the disease on this volunteer cherry tomato, which, yeah, you can see right there. Something had a little snack on it. That's why I don't grow them out here. And then look at the purple bumblebee. It's just so nice and healthy. I don't know. I'd recommend the purple bumblebee to anyone. I'll probably try to save some seeds. Okay, I think that about does it this week. If you have any other questions on why I do anything or how anything works or what I do, just leave a comment down below. Be happy to answer them. Or if you have any advice for what I'm doing that I could do better, always more than happy to hear that too. And there's my other sweet potato that's not growing as fast. Never grown sweet potatoes, so I'm not sure what to expect or even when to harvest them. And if you could just, like, subscribe, comment, say hi, just whatever. And I will see everybody next week. Thanks.